Fred T. Korematsu. In 2009, on the established the Fred T. Korematsu Institute. Since her father's passing in 2005, public educator, we are very, very honored to have her here today. Please welcome Karen Korematsu.
Good afternoon, pilgrims. To Consul General Uyama for your wonderful words, and to the National when he was in the California legislature, took on the legislative bill to establish this, working across the aisle and in a nonpartisan manner, and to make sure that what this day represents is yes, it honors my father, but it's a reminder that we must uphold our Constitution and our civil liberties. Our democracy is at risk. Our democracy is on attack, and we need all of you to support us to make sure going forward that we make those changes. The Fred T. Korematsu Institute, for all of you teachers there, any teachers, can go to our website and sign up for our curriculum toolkits free of charge. That's what we do for fundraising. So you have the materials necessary to teach in depth about the incarceration and how it relates to our honor the 50th anniversary of the pilgrimage, but also it was my father's 100th birthday on stories. When you go, the title that is. And then she says, but there's this one court case called Korematsu versus United States. At me, and I'm shrugging my shoulders, thinking that's some black. Of course, I go running home and ask my discrimination, work 2 jobs, and by the and he simply said, was wrong. Face, and it was like somebody punched me in the stomach. And an obligation in this country to get out the vote. Fast forward to 1983, to when my father's Supreme Court case was opened up in but until that time, I did not know that my father had a Japanese name. He as my father said, horse stalls are as many of you know, was done at because they thought some harm might come to them if they associated with him. Turned in 1983. My dad could have very well like that. For most of you who knew him, he was asked, he would show up. My father received Supreme Court case is this year. Ready for anyone to. Justice Frank Murphy called it the ugly abyss. From this country. On doodle appeared of my father, and my phone Medal of Freedom. When you receive a Google Doodle, Court of Appeals. Then it became 2.0, the immigration ban. Then significance of the impact of what they're trying to do. Just we need to stop the hate, the racism, xenophobia. The executive branch we cannot depend on. Now the judicial branch we cannot depend on. The legislative branch is our only hope. And so I encourage you to get out there and support civic engagement and support those who want to run for office. We cannot be complacent. And remember what my father said. With violence. Otherwise, they won't listen to you. But don't be afraid to speak.
And once again,
I am honored to be this place before 9/11 happened, the founder of the Manzanar committee, Su Kunitomi Embry, found me in Little Tokyo in a keep on playing. So, anyways, and I was playing, and then she came. I really love you. She took my hands and going to the Cairo play. Susan is not here physically. Angels to be a rock star, but but yeah, Tracy Kato Kiriyama. Back 2000. Grand Zero, New York, from LA to Chicago on Route 66. This Japanese happy court said Hiroshima Taiko Hosonkai. I was born and raised in Nagoya, Japan, but my taiko, I've been playing taiko for a long time. My sensei is one of the survivors of Hiroshima bombing, and I've been learning a lot of things from him and also taiko too. And one of these victims in the whole world, it's not just Japan, it's not just US, all around the world, we know language barriers, different kind of a way of the understanding of things. But I want to believe our roots is here on the Mother Earth. And since I moved to the United 9/11, I went to Grand Zero, New York after August 6th of the Hiroshima bombings day. I left Los Angeles to 9/11 with 10,000 origami cranes. So in front of us, little cranes, but I still believe our believing is gonna make something special. So I want to dedicate this celebration, and then also I want to dedicate for the whole new generations. Keep on. How can we be together? I went to New York. I stuck to Sedona, and I made now 15. He was born July 10th in 2003 in Sedona. So, anyways, I believe this is our cherry blossom roots deep within. Cherry blossom sound deep within your heart. earth growing inside the heart. 根はね土深く根を伸ばし手を伸ばし心で深く深くに隠れてる中お腹の中 Our hearts root tight, hidden deep within the middle. Oh, Mother Earth, breathing in harmony. Yeah. 桜もね、僕らもね、生きている地球の上。つないでるそれぞれの根を伸ばし手を伸ばし Cherry blossom roots deep within your heart If you test the roots they will speak to you very very much
at Manzanar in the desert. Warm out there, but you really have to listen to this person. Involved in things you might know that he's a in the political arena. He is the leading civil rights attorney. For the United States to overturn. If we Japanese Americans and all of you here is going to be and the other attorneys that help with appreciation for his years of work, attorney.
I'm so thrilled to be here. And, you look around and see the operation of the Manzanar that occur and the different for inviting me. It's really an opportunity, a special opportunity to come. From Lone Pine is not just a reminder of the past, at this time when our country is under a I'd also in this great future, you can't forget your past. Sue Embry and one of my friends, Aiko Yoshinaga, heard history. It represents the incarceration of 120,000 Americans of Japanese ancestry. Disasters, lost and destroyed careers, or medical care, dusty barracks, too crowded barracks, the long lines just to go to the damage to Japanese Americans was the loss of dignity, the loss of hope. And you can remember being branded. In our crime security. When we filed our petitions to overturn the convictions of Fred Korematsu, that contradicted exactly what the government was claiming. The incarceration was we simply that those were intentional falsehoods. Intentional falsehoods, as the government's own attorneys said. So the Supreme Court in 1943 and 44 upheld the incarceration at the other bookend of his. redress was an inspired journey. I thought about Manzanar and what it represents. To activate Japanese. A national consciousness and the devastating effects it had on our. Because if you remember, in 1940, and as a result, we suffered that civil in redress bill. So that's the prisons into the sunlight. A responsibility to speak out against power and racism. Against Mexicans, Central Americans, the poor, the disabled. Everyone just about has. And as a natural succeeds and triumphs with its ethnic. So it's up to us to stand up for those principles and the lessons. Important to me because it's important to remember not just what happened, but to act back, and you can see the struggles of the path blazed by African Americans, by Latinx, by Native. Much farther we have to about. But knowledge of history is not alone is not enough. History and the knowledge of history was some but then to act upon that history. So the legacy of Manzanar and out and stand up against injustice. We know act to change the present now, or it becomes the future. But I don't think we could ever give up because we have to remember the of the Hard Mountain resistors. They never gave up. They were imprisoned or fighting on different battlefields. we can never give up. And if you ever find a meaning in Manzanar, as we can see it, again, never again.
Wonderful honor to present a very important award. It is called the Sioux Blaze Trails. This person who's the recipient of the award this year, somebody who is a today who really blazed a trail. I am so is sometimes brash. Of Nikkei for civil rights and redress for many years and still is to this day very active with I got to work on a show earlier this year called Tales of Clamor, and it is a show that we utilize video very powerful, and we knew that we had to have this one part. There was a guy who was about to speak and to turn in their testimonies and not speak out. And he said, I will not be hurried by you. And you can see all the people like jump. And people were like, what? He was such a rock star. Nobody wanted to meet us. They all wanted to meet them. Honor this person. Let's hear it.
Progressive West Side chapter. And at that time, the big and to go along with supporting the way. Outlaw Board. Many years later, I was working at Cal State Long Beach, and it was Friday night. It was members of the La Raza students came to me and they said, so we're going to have to ask you to go over this. Being a small and when I finally and the fact with that. You know, Cesar Chavez really lit up. Well, I think it's an honor to meet you. We, back in 1960, we learned that the pilgrimage essentially is what years back when I was speaking and urging people at the Corona Mosque to go on the pilgrimage. Somebody asked me, what do I yourself to see what you stand for? But I think things almost as a voice for unity. About the direction of a new spirit for America. For the people who aren't the 1%, and that means me, you know. We need to speak up for people who have to have two jobs. That means the end of your America. You don't believe that, just accept hunger. Years from now. Leave them in stark of lifetime of want. I think we need to start brothers and sisters back where you came from because you are already home. And those idiots that want to let you do it. Well, I want to say, I say, hey, Jim, it was a great pleasure to meet you. So there we have it. Thank you so much for the massive.
How to get up? Lots of gravity.
Congratulations again to Jim Matsuoka. Korematsu. So I know we keep saying her name, but we did want to acknowledge, and commitment to make sure that this can gather and justice in our future. So I'm just going to ask us to say hi soon. Thank her so much. Have a student-run program that happens later. SD Nikkei Student Union is Lauren Matsu.
Annual Manzanar pilgrimage, and for everyone to still continue Nikkei Student Union as their co Some of us are here to learn about the truth and history that maybe readily was discussed, or for some of fires. I would fall into the category of remembering and reconnecting with my family history. And I have my dad, Barney Matsumoto, my grandfather, also my dad, who took me on my first Manzanar pilgrimage, and is a great honor. Whether silently with the land, or through conversations with the people that we came with, or the new friends that we made happen. And I can list all of the reasons why that I've learned over the years, but I think one that is very important that we highlight today, and something that we need to change, is during us and to speak against what was happening. And since then, we have seen history repeating itself. And as we stand here, fences. There are many ways that will vote for things that you want, and as well support focuses on educating the next generation of student leaders to join us at Manzanar Dust, organized by the Nikkei Student Unions, Cal State Fullerton, along with the Manzanar Committee. We invite everyone, and it will be held at 5 p.m. at the Manzanar Pilgrimage, as well as tell their own stories. Everyone from all ages and backgrounds stories. We hope to see everyone there at 5 p.m.
Manzanar Committee and the Manzanar of the award this year, Camille Ariano, Sarah. For some final words.
All right, we're here. So I want you to just make eye contact. Do it again. I see you. I stand. Thank you so much for the honor of sharing the stage, and enjoy the day. Please hydrate. And
Ago in Crystal City, Texas, a group detention center the Japanese were put in during World War II. Within the first 24 hours, 48 hours of the bombing of Pearl Harbor, the FBI and other agencies went into the Japanese American community. None of the camps like Manzanar. So at this pilgrimage a couple of months ago, a group came there because 40 miles away is a family detention from their children. It is being run by a private prison company. The election unfolds for 2020. One of the issues being put four square on the table for discussion, debate, and I'm sure argument is reparations and looking at the impact of slavery on the African American community. When you look at the issues of reparations provided by the federal government of the United States, they've only done two groups. Sioux Indians because their land was taken from them, and the other group was Japanese Americans fighting for redress and reparations. If the African American community comes to our community to talk about how we did it, so we could share with them different ideas, different ways it was done, because their cause is our cause. Because what's indelibly in my mind, looking at the Muslim American community, coming here today is perseverance, through creativity, the fundamental strength of our community, and those that lived here for 4 years, and those that are still lobbying here. We thank you for coming to the 50th anniversary of the Manzanar pilgrimage. Could we have Monica Embry come forward to do the procession at the cemetery? Monica? Oh.
Embry?
I am Michael Embry.
Of the tent, we will have Ondo dancing. And for any survivors of any of the camps who are here, we invite you to the monument for a photo. Roll call.